We trust AI to explain science. We trust science to explain the universe. But what happens when science reaches a point where it stops explaining why? Two students used AI for homework like everyone else. One night, they asked it a question people have argued about for thousands of years. And the AI didn't answer religiously or emotionally. It answered just logically, but it was a disturbing logic. This story revolves around Daniel and Marcus. Daniel and Marcus were regular students. They used AI for everything: to finish assignments, to explain hard topics, to clear doubts, to ask life questions. They used AI like everyone else. Whenever they didn't understand something, they asked AI, and AI always gave clear answers. So slowly, without noticing, they started trusting it more than teachers, more than books, more than opinions. For them, AI was always right. Until one day, they asked it something no textbook prepares you for, and the answer felt uncomfortable. One evening, after finishing schoolwork, they started asking random questions. Why people fight? Why life feels unfair? Why bad things happen? The mood changed. Marcus remembered a scene from Young Sheldon. People who watched Young Sheldon can relate. In that scene, Sheldon, who doesn't even believe in God, says something simple: a universe that works must follow rules. If gravity stopped whenever something bad happened, the universe wouldn't exist at all. A universe that makes sense cannot keep changing its rules. It's just precision. If the universe didn't follow rules like gravity, nothing, good or bad, would exist in the first place. That memory stayed in Marcus's mind, so he typed into AI, "Does God exist?" he asked out of curiosity. The AI started with something very deep. The AI said, "Everything that begins comes from something. A drawing comes from a hand. A story comes from a mind. A phone comes from a factory." Now the important part explained by AI. The universe also began. Science already agrees on this. Time started, space started, everything started. So AI asked a simple question: if everything needs a cause, what caused the universe? Some people say maybe the universe came from nothing. AI explained this clearly. Nothing means no power, no energy, no rules. Nothing can't do anything. So the cause must be outside the universe, outside space, outside time. Because space and time didn't exist yet, the AI then said, "Look around. Gravity always works. Math always works. Rules don't randomly change. If everything was accidental, rules would break all the time. But they don't. That means the universe isn't random chaos. It is organized, and organization usually means planning." At this point, Daniel leaned back in his chair. Just quiet. Marcus didn't say anything either. They had asked the AI to explain things simply, but this answer felt heavier than expected. So Daniel typed again. But couldn't this just be coincidence? It explained something very basic. If you flip a coin once and it lands on heads, that's coincidence. If you flip it 10 times and it lands on heads every time, you start paying attention. If you flip it 1,000,000 times and it follows the same pattern perfectly, you stop calling it luck. You call it a system. The AI then said something that made Marcus look up. It explained that coincidence explains one event, but consistency explains rules. Gravity working once could be luck. Gravity working everywhere, every time, for billions of years. That's not coincidence. That's structure. Daniel frowned. So, you're saying the universe behaves like it knows what it's doing? The AI responded carefully. It said, the universe behaves like it is following instructions, not feelings, not intentions, just instructions. Daniel finally said, so what are you actually saying? It said, I am not saying this proves God exists. Daniel exhaled, but then the AI continued. I am saying this. When rules are consistent, when structure is stable, and when order exists everywhere, calling it random is harder to explain than saying something started it. Daniel typed one final sentence. So, God exists? Logic does not ask for belief, only acceptance. The real question is not whether God exists. The real question is whether humans reject him because he is false, or because accepting him would mean they are not in control. That night, nothing changed. Just a quiet thought that refused to leave. If God does not exist, nothing matters. If God exists, everything matters. Some questions don't shout their answers. They wait for you to stop talking. Hereby the story ends. If this story challenged your thinking, hit like. Follow for more stories like this. Some questions don't fade easily. Share it with someone who loves debating the unseen. Story2Logic, where knowledge meets reality.